Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. So there was a portion day of yesterday that was left out. But I think we need to start again from the beginning just to bring us up to speed there. Really, wa in ahdath al imam aw al muqtadi. This is related to that. Read from there. You read and explain as you're going along.
فقال لا يتيمم للبناء لأن اللاحق يصلى بعد فراغ الإمام فلا يخاف الخلف.
Okay, explain what you understood so far from there.
فليس الصلاة المقتضي صلاة العيد he will make tayammum and he will join the salah and then the صاحبين they will not make tayammum وبناء because the لاحق he came in time of working today. He will perform after finishing with the Imam. They should not say he does not hear the working.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. See, we're saying, وَإِنْ أَحْدَثَ الْإِمَامُ أَوِ الْمُقْتَدِي فِي صَلَاةِ الْعِيدِ. If the Imam or Muqtadi, either one of them, hadith overtook them, في صلاة الْعِيدِ, in the Eid Salat, right? So we were discussing the chapter on Tayammum. Tayammama wa bana. I told you first thing is the Surah of Masla, the Imam. So then you'll say there that Tayammama, he will make Tayammum and he will make Bina. Bina means you will continue where he stopped from. Just remember you said word Bina. You don't have to restart the whole Salah again, right? In the Abi Hanifata, right? وقال لا يتيمم. According to Sahibain, no, he cannot make tayammum. لأن اللاحق باللاحق. That means, remember I told you three terms yesterday. Mudrik came on time. Masbook, miss a rakat. Lahik came on time, but his wudu broke and he went to make wudu and came back. So they're saying, لأن اللاحق the لاحق يصلي بعد فراغ الإمام فلا يخاف الفوت. They say, look here, normally, what is saying Simon, they say, normally, you say tayammum is correct for that person who misses his salah and there's no badal for it. He misses his salah and there's no badal. But here, the lahiq, the one whose wudu broke, right, there is a badal for him. He, you say, لا يفوت إلى غير بدل يعني يفوت إلى بدل. There is a surah for him out. And what is the surah for him? The surah is simple. All he do is, after his wudu broke, he'll go, he'll make wudu, and he come back and he continue his salah. So it's not to say you will miss the salah completely. Right? فهمت? Right. Say, لأن اللاحق يصلي بعد فراغ الإمام فلا يخاف الفوت. So you not fear losing salah. We say, وله, the Imam Sahib says, no, listen to me. Even though if he go to make wudu and he come back, still is a problem. Why is it? There's still a challenge. يوجد مشكلة حتى الآن. You understood? أن الخوف باق. There's still, you can say أن المشكل باق حتى الآن. There's still a challenge for him. And what is the challenge? لأنه, because him, لأنه يوم زحمة. It is a day of زحمة means big crowds. يوم مزدحم, right? فيأتي ريه عارض. Then some obstacle will come to him. فيأتي ريه عارض, right? يفسد عليه صلاته. It will corrupt him upon his salat. In other words, he will go, like our Simon say, his wudu broke, he will go to make wudu, but coming back, maybe by the time he comes back, the rest of the congregation is done already with their salat, so they're going to want to greet him. 20 people want to greet him. What's he going to do? He's going to just walk past them all the time. He'll make a mistake and he'll greet him. And as a result of that, his salah will be broken and his Eid namaz will be lost. You understand what I'm saying? So we say, no, there is a need here. There is a need for what? For him to make tayammum. Are you with me? Right? So there is a need. So فَيَأْتَرِهِ عَارِضٌ, a obstacle will come يفسد عليه صلاته, that will corrupt upon him salat. Right, that's pretty simple today. Then I say, والخلاف فيما إذا شرع بالوضوء. So here earlier, you got the right page on there. You got the right page. Let's check if you got the right page. Got the right page, right? So what he's saying is, والخلاف فيما إذا شرع بالوضوء. This whole اختلاف of whether you can make tayammum or not, it is when a person started with wudu, right? You understood that? That's pretty clear, right? Becoming so in other words, the Imam started with wudu, the Muqdiri started with wudu. So they, according to, and his wudu broke, then according to Imam Hanifa, he can go make a tayammum. According to Sahibain, he can make a tayammum and he can complete his salah, right? That's so. Sorry, Sahibain said he can't. Sorry, Sahibain said he can't, right? Sahibain said he can't go make a tayammum. He must make a wudu. And I told Imam Hanifa gave his reason that if he go to make wudu, there's a great possibility of his salah becoming nullified, right? Now, ولو شرع بالتيمم تيمم وبنى بالاتفاق. But say, for instance, he started with tayammum. That was obviously this won't refer to the Imam. It will most probably refer to the Muqtadi because the Imam, they're going to wait for him to make wudu. And remember, you can only make tayammum when you fear you're going to miss the salah. Remember? So you are a Muqtadi. This will even refer to a lady if she's. There's a separate question whether she should be reading Salat, Namaz in Jamaat in the Masjid or the Idgah. We won't go to that dynamics. That will come at the later stage. Will come in Kitab. But let's just discuss if it happens to a woman that she is also going to rejoin the Eid Namaz, and if she fear now that if she go make wudu, that she's gonna miss the Eid Namaz, so she decides to make tayammum and she joins the Imam, then there's ittifaq that when her wudu break or when his wudu break, he can go make tayammum and he can come back, right? You understood that? So ولو شرع بالتيمم تيمم وبنى بالاتفاق. Now, why this ittifaq upon this masla? Now, why are we saying our reasoning in the next masla is for that if a person made wudu, then Imam Abu Hanifa said his wudu broke, he can go and make tayammum and he can come back, right? Listen nicely. Actually, this is not only for Imam Hanifa, this is for both. This is a reasoning for both, for Imam Hanifa and Saibin. Why, when a person started his salat with wudu, listen nicely. When a person started his Eid salat with tayammum, why will we say that he has to make tayammum if his wudu broke? He don't have to go make another wudu. So you don't have to. Why? Because here, لأن, why? لو أوجبنا الوضوء, if we have to make wudu wajib upon him, yakunu wajidan lil ma'i. So that when he finds the water, that means he's a person who has kudrat upon water, right? Okay, before we do that, maybe I should explain this masla. This is the masla before we go look at it. See here, if a person, the conditions of tayammum was found, there was no water, right? And like I told you, we discussed in the beginning, a radius of 1.8 kilometer, he had no water. Or there was water, but he was unable to use it. He didn't have access to it. And he started his salah. But during his salah, he got access to the water. During his salah, he found this water. What's the masla? The masla is he'll have to break his salah and he have to make wudu and he have to restart his salah. Are you with me? Now that is where the answer to this question comes out. So he'll have to break his salah, he'll have to make wudu, and he has to restart his salah. So now they're saying, look here, look at the scenario. If you are saying the person who started his Eid Salat with tayammum, if you are saying he must go and look for water. So if he looks for water, what is he? He's wajidul ma. What is he? And if he's wajidul ma, what happens to his previous salah that he made without the wudu? He made with tayammum. It's nullified. So then if you're going to insist he must look for water, his whole salat will become batil. And the whole idea of having allowed him to do tayammum in the first place, so the namas in salah, it won't have any benefit. Are you with me? So you sure you got it now properly? Huh? So so I'll just repeat it once again. I hope it's clear for all the online people also that if a person made started his Eid namaz with tayammum and then his wudu broke, we will not say there's ittifaq between all the ulama of the Hanafi that he just will make another tayammum and he can continue. Sahibin says if he started with wudu and his wudu broke in between, he must go find water. Imam Hanifa says if he started wudu or he started for tayammum, tayammum will suffice after that. And the scenario where he started with wudu, they're both sahibain, and Imam Hanifa says what? It's fine to make tayammum. Why? Because if we insist he must look for water, when he finds the water, he's wajidul ma. What is he? And when you are wajidul ma, can you make tayammum? No. When you wajidul ma, you must repeat the salah that you read with tayammum. So you'll have to repeat that in the mass. And can he repeat it in the mass? He can't because he's alone. There aren't enough people to make a jamaat. You understood that? So is that now clear now? We never explained this part yesterday. So now that's clear, inshallah, mashallah. Question here. Yeah, if you started with the, if you, so yeah, there's a question. If you started with tayammum and he finds water, then what? I think what this refer to here is if you started your Eid namaz with tayammum and then you find water, then there you won't have to repeat. Why? Because the idea why you are allowed to make tayammum in the first place was so that you don't miss your salah. So if you find water by the Eid you don't have to make wudu again. Why? Because that is going to put your in the mass at risk. You see what I'm saying? Okay, coming back to the next. Now, if you understood the principle so far, the principle is this that those salah for which there is a badal, I'm looking for a nice word of badal, replacement or not replacement, like that badal, there is an alternative to it if you missed it. Then for them, you can make tayammum. But those salah for which there's no badal, there's no replacement, substitute, right? Right. So that's salah for which there's no substitute. There you can make tayammum because you're gonna miss it and there's no substitute. But if there is a substitute, you're not allowed to make tayammum. So if you understood that now, if you look at the forthcoming ibarat now, it will become pretty clearly that inshallah.
ولا يتيمم الجمعة وإن صاف الفوز لو توضأ فإن أدرك الجمعة صلاها وإلا صلى الظهر أربعا لأنها تفوت إلى صلاة وهو الظهر بخلاف العيد.
Right. See, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. ولا يتيمم للجمعة. You cannot make tayammum for Jum'ah. Why? Because say for instance, the Jum'ah is on the go, right? And you come there, and if you're gonna make wudu, you're gonna miss Jum'ah, no problem. You must miss the Jum'ah. Why? Because if you miss Jum'ah, you can make Zuhar after that. وإن خاف الفوات. Even if you fear you're gonna miss it. Why? لو توضأ, if you make wudu, if you fear you're gonna miss, no problem. Why? فإن أدرك, if you made wudu and you got the Imam just before he made salam, good luck to you, you got your Jummah, right? وإذا ذاك الجمعة ده صلى وإلا صلى الظهر أربعا. If you missed it, it's your own apathy, it's your own laziness, you came late, then you will read 4 rakat, right? Why? لأنها تفوت إلى خلف, because it's missed towards, this is how it literally translate, it misses, this is how it translate literally, it misses towards a substitute. But I tell you what means, when it is missed, or when you miss it, there is a substitute, you understand? وهو ظهر, and that is the Zohar Salah, right? بخلاف الإيد, contrary to each Salah. When you miss each Salah, there's no substitute for it. You can't go read your each Salah on your own. You must have that certain amount of people, etc., etc. Understood? Like Zohar, you can't read on your own, right? Carry on.
قال وكذا إذا خاف فوز الوقت لو توضأ لم يتيمم يتوضأ فيقضى ما فاته لأن الفوز إلى خلف وهو القضاء.
Right. وكذا إذا خاف فوات الوقت. Your regular Salah, normal Fajr, Zohar, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, maybe you woke up 5 minutes before the time. Sun rises 6 o'clock now in winter. sunrise is 5 to 7. You woke up 10 to 7, and you say, if I make wudu now, the sun is gonna rise, right? Then also you cannot make tayammum. You'll have to make wudu. Why you have to make wudu? Because if you miss the salah, no problem. You can make qada of each other. Okay, not no problem. I would say no problem. It's a problem. You missing salah is big problem. It's big problem. But I mean, no problem in the sense that there is a badal for it. There is a badal for it. There is a substitute for it. So if you miss your fajr, obviously you have to wait till the sun rise properly, 15 to 20 minutes after. There's a saying, وَكَانَ إِذَا خَافَ فَوَاتَ الْوَقْتِ لَوْ تَوَضَّعَ. If you to make the right wudu, لم يتيمم. He will not make tayammum. ويتوضأ. He will make wudu. ويقضي, and he will do salah properly. ما فات what missed him. لأن الفوات إلى خلف, because it misses towards a substitute, وهو القضاء, and that is the qada salat, right?
فتيمم وصلى ثم ذكر
Just one sec. Right. See, look at the next Muslim. You read it already.
فإذا نسي الماء رحله فيتيمم وصلى ثم ذكر الماء لم يفسدها عند أبي حنيفة ومحمد رحمه الله. وقال أبو يوسف رحمه الله يعيدها.
Okay, we have to understand this surah nicely, right? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. See, والمسافر إذا نسي الماء في رحله فتيمم وصلى ثم ذكر الماء لم يؤد إن أبي حنيفة. Listen, I see a person was traveling, right? Now, he had some water, he had extra water over and above his drinking needs. He had water in his conveyance, right? But now he forgot that he got this extra water. So he made tahari. He said, look here, I can see 1.8 kilometers here. There's no water around here. There's no extra water. So that means I qualify as a mutayammim. There's no water around here. So he began to make tayammum. So now he made tayammum. His tayammum is valid. Why is his tayammum valid? Because remember, there's another principle in Sharia called ghalibul dhan. You know, when you have there's a lot of masai like this that we done. Remember, I told you with the Maya Kathir that when if you, in your mind you feel this is Maya Kathir here, that this is a lot of water, then you consider as Maya Kathir. You know, that says Mufawwad ila al-Mubtala bihi. That's one masla, and the other one is Ma Yastaktiru an-Nadir. The onlooker, he considers it to be a lot. So these are one of these most masail also where the masla is premised upon the opinion of the one that's involved in it. So here, according to him, he's got no water. He's got no extra water. According to him, he has got no extra water. So because he's got no extra water, even though the water was there, remember this is also based upon this person. Yeah, Turi or Baraka, this also came to my mind now. Remember, we said, remember we discussed this. When you want to make time, it's not necessary for you to physically search. Remember, we said that you must just look around. You say, hey, when you're Hollywood sun is there's no water here with a radius of 1.8 kilometers, then that's good enough. You know, so same thing here. Actually, there's an extension of that masla. In his mind, there's no water here in a radius of 1.8 kilometers. So remember there we discussed also, you're not mukallaf. You're not bound to go and look for the water. You're not bound to look for the water. You must just apply your mind. So here you applied your mind, and According to you, there was no water. Similar to that person who said, hey, within 1.8 kilometers here, there's no water. Within 1.8 kilometers, there is no water. So similar to that, yeah, according to him, there was no water. So he qualifies at the mutayammim. He qualifies at the mutayammim. And right, remember we discussed this much also. Once you qualify as a mutayammim, then even after that, she, yeah, once you qualify as a mutayammim, and after you find water, like as the example is this here, you were traveling right now at this point in time, you qualified as a mutayammim. There was nothing there, there was no water. You made tayammum. Even though you come to the Shah Ultra City, there's a lot of water there. The time is still in. You don't have to repeat it. The same thing, once he finds the water afterwards, you don't have to repeat it, right? See there. ثم ذكر الماء لم يؤيد إلى أبي حنيفة ومحمد رحمه الله وقال أبو يوسف يعيدها. Mama used to say, no, when you remember this water, you'll repeat it, right? Okay, just changing the page. Right. So this هو الخلاف فيما إذا وضعه بنفسه أو وضعه غيره بأمره. This whole اختلاف is where he put the water in himself or somebody else put it with his command. So that means if somebody else put the water without his knowledge, for example, me and you are traveling, right? So you're not my khadim, you're not my servant or anything, right? You're just a travel compartment, a partner, and you put some water there in, right? Then there's, and I didn't know about the water. There's no ikhtilaf that his tayammum is valid because that water was not under my jurisdiction. You understand what I'm saying? But if I had my khadim or my wife or my child, and I said to my child, okay, put the water in there, or I put the water myself, or I put the water myself in there, then under those circumstances, this is where the ikhtilaf is. You understand what I'm saying? Because why? Oh, obviously, Imam Hanifa says that no, that he didn't at that point in time he didn't know about the water, so he's not mukallaf of using it. Sahiban is saying, or is it not Sahiban? Is Imam Yusuf is saying, look here, that water was put there with his instruction, so that means he had kudrat on the water. So since he had kudrat on the water, his tayammum is not valid. You understood? But as I said, if a third person put the water there or something that was not under his jurisdiction, so there's unanimity amongst both all ai that there the tayammum will be valid, right? Right. وذكره في الوقت وبعده سواء. Yeah. So the same masala which we're discussing here, that you remember that the water, whether it is in the time or out of the time. So that means according to Imam Abu Hanifa, even in the time. So I read my Zohar namaz with tayammum because I forgot. أنا صليت صلاة الظهر ونسيت أن في رحلة الماء, right? وذكرت الماء في وقت الصلاة فليس عليه أن أعيد الصلاة. So I remembered in the time that there was water. I don't have to repeat it because, as I told you, this is similar to the masala, like you were traveling and then the conditions of the tayammum was found, and then after the conditions of the tayammum was found, you read your salah, then you got the water in the time. You don't have to repeat it. So the same thing here. وذكره في الوقت وبعد سواء. right. له أنه عاجل للماء فصار كما إذا كان في رحله ثوب فنسيه. Okay, so the next part is now like the same as that, but they're adding a new dimension. That Imam Yusuf that says that look here, you have to repeat the salah. Imam Yusuf is saying, he's giving another example to support it. I'll just tell you briefly before we do tomorrow. He say, look here, if a person he forgot he didn't maybe he was like those guys traveling around with the short pants, or he was like how the people go short pants, and then he forgot he got enough cloth in his conveyance, and he says so he read his namaz without covering his sitter. Then afterwards he remembered, hey, I got cloth. Then you have to repeat the salah. The Imam Yusuf said, like, how he has to repeat the salah here, this person also has to repeat here. That's the qiyas of Imam Yusuf. But inshallah, we will discuss that tomorrow and we'll give the answer to Imam Yusuf to say, no, that masla is different. The day has to repeat because it's different. Yeah, and this is different. and we will give the reasons for that tomorrow, inshallah. But subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallah wa bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.